Hey, welcome to the 8 a.m. Coffee Podcast. I'm Asher, and that's Paul. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Just got the pork off the smoker, so that was fun. So,
Is that like an all-night
anyways,
smoke?
yeah, yeah, it's about 8.5 hours.
That's cool. So we were just that sounded sarcastic. It actually does sound cool. We were just talking about pillows. And I don't know who out there has a pillow that they really really enjoy, but that can be a pretty life-changing experience. So, was that the case for you in your recent gift?
It was. It's so funny though because it came in like a box and it was the most compact thing that I've ever seen. Now, and I didn't know I was getting it. By the way, it was a complete surprise. So, but then you like stuck it in the dryer for like 10 minutes on low, which the dryer is still on low. So I'm wondering if anybody tries clothes right now, they're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Right, right.
Um, but then it, but then depending on how you sleep, you take stuffing out or put stuffing in. Like they sent you like a thing of stuffing. So it's
Whoa.
got like a zipper on it. Like it's all kinds of like so if you sleep on your back, you take like a quarter of the stuffing out and then add it, and then you like or you're supposed to take pictures of yourself to make sure your spine's lined up.
Yeah.
But it for me, I just laid down on it and I'm a side sleeper. So and just took a picture of me and it's good. It's good. I like it. So
Yeah. So
it's a weird thing to be excited about. But
I agree, but in adult life, it's different things for everybody. I
yeah.
I just shared the post and put that we're talking about things that we didn't know we needed, and then we got them, and we were like, "Whoa," which is kind of a
Mm-mm.
TikTok tribute, I guess, because I've been on TikTok way too much lately.
I have not.
Whoa,
I haven't been on hardly at all.
makes sense. We're
And I think I've lost followers. Like I think I'm on a downward, like because I'm not producing content.
yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense. Does that affect you mentally at all, or is it like I could care less?
I could care less.
Yeah,
I really could. Like, well, and that's the same with most social media for me.
yeah.
I could care less. I worry about the things that I put out there that actually really offend people. Like if it like truly, not like oh I've triggered somebody, but
Mm-hmm.
like truly like offends people. Like I mean
Like deeply.
I can point examples, like specific examples of things that I've thought that I've never posted because I'm like, oh, that's gonna hurt somebody deep,
Mm-hmm.
like in a deep, deep spot. So
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. I, I I would say I didn't know I needed a TikTok before you told me to download TikTok, and then I've seen a lot of very funny videos, but I've probably seen double that amount of just trash, like just stupid. Watch for 5 seconds and it's like, okay, I already know this isn't going to be funny. It's not like Vine. It
yeah,
it really it really is different than Vine, but
well, well, you've got like 14-year-olds trying to make videos, so I mean, like
it's too much.
it is what it
It's too
is.
much
So
access.
yeah,
I also didn't
no, and
know.
and I mean, like
Go ahead.
what? No, no, please, please. You also didn't
I
know
was
what?
just gonna say I also didn't know that I needed Malachi's Cooking Corner butter from
Oh,
from the
yep.
Brandon Dunford
Do
episodes.
you need more? Because I've got some.
No, I don't need more. I'm like gaining
I've been,
weight. I'm gaining weight from this stuff.
I've, I have threatened the lives of everyone here if they use it because I want to use the blueberry. Like I want to mound a sauce with it, and I just haven't had the time to do it yet.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
No, no. Back to the things that I don't post that I'm actually real like. I really don't post them, even though I'm feeling it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like one of the like the thing of I can't wait to get rid of my children, right? Because then I'm like, oh, man, I know so many people that want kids, and I don't want to come across as
Like ungrateful or something.
not. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, my life is so hard. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not. I did, however, comment on somebody made a statement because I went to Walmart yesterday.
Yeah.
I ventured into the Walmart,
I don't know
which,
how you do it, by the way. It's one of the worst
well,
places on earth.
it is one of the worst places on earth. That was not a good look in the morning. she she says that Walmart smells of Subway and bad fashion mistakes. So,
It's so true.
but
And
so
Corona.
part of social distancing is they've done one way aisles, right?
Right.
So you only go, not a single person. I'm talking not a single human being walking up and going the right way, right? And somebody posted, they shared it and they were like, this is going to be very interesting, whatever. And I was like, or they didn't follow it, or like, I mean, something like that.
Hmm.
And I legitimately posted, and we expect everyone to do social distancing just on their own without it being government mandated. I mean, but I'm loud and verbal a lot, and I'm like, man, but I would like walk by people and they're like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. I can follow directions. And then just kind of keep on going. And they told me it was confusing. And I was like, okay, so there's a giant red square with a big X that says do not enter.
Hmm.
And then there's a giant green rectangle with an arrow pointing the way you're supposed to go. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it's not that big of a deal. Like,
Right.
it's really not that big of a deal. Like, I get it. There are going to be people that just don't want to do it because they don't want to be told what to do. And if that gives you power, I get it. Like, but
Those people need certain hours, though. That's what I think.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. And then there are a bunch of restaurant owners that are bucking the opening up. Like, they're like, nah, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant in Oak Ridge that actually posted. They said we can't do 50% because then we have to have 100% staff and we can't run on 50% guests.
Right.
Like, they're like, we just can't do it. Like, so we'll wait till it's 100% and then we'll open.
Yeah. The logistics make sense. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still just not leaving my house. There's too many crazy things. I don't want to lose my leg. The Broadway dude lost his leg. Don't want to go too negative with it, but
I didn't know about that.
yeah, yeah.
I've been watching the news.
Me neither. I just heard about that one. He had to have it amputated. I literally haven't watched the news in like
I'm
almost a week now.
I'm doing what the general public does. Is I'm getting my information via social media.
It's the best way, isn't it? Um.
Yeah.
So
The NFL draft was last night, by the way. I don't know
yeah,
if you know that.
I do know that very much.
The only player I actually know that's in the draft has not been drafted yet. So,
Oh,
but he
okay.
should be today. So that's good. So,
How long does a draft happen, and is there actually going to be football?
so there's 4 days of it, Thursday through Sunday. I am not
Four days.
aware. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not involved in those meetings. I don't know whether they're going to have the NFL or not.
They don't
I don't
include
know.
you in this.
No, no.
You're not.
Just like they don't include me on the price increase at Chili's. So,
Those are
you
some
know
tough
that story.
days. There's some tough days.
When when some lady complained about the price going up, I was like, um, oh, okay.
Not on the board there.
Um, no, there's a kid that went to our student ministry that he was the number 4 or 5 wide receiver prospect for the NFL draft.
Interesting.
So he should be actually a guy that was rated worse than him got picked yesterday, but it was because of a system or whatever. But no, I'm just super happy for him and his family, and he's a good kid. That's the other thing. He's a really really good human being just in general. So
Well, I'll say, way to go,
so
guy, and try not to get hit too much. You'll
yeah, I mean,
try not to get
is
brain
what it
damage.
is.
Foot
Yeah.
football.
So You were about to say something, and I went on a
I
tangent
was just going to
about.
take us back to what are some other things that you've gotten that you didn't know you needed, and then you really enjoyed them.
There's a lot. I mean, there's really a lot
Other than
that I'm like,
pillows,
oh,
we did start with pillows, and I was like, that really is probably the best thing for this topic because I don't know that any male person that I know was like, yeah, a pillow for sure. But then I got one just a couple months ago, and it was like, this really is life changing. Like the sleep is
mhm.
better, the feeling is better.
That specific laundry detergent
Mm,
is always comes to mind. Like, because I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I never knew that I didn't know I needed.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I mean, uh, like it just didn't, you know. I
Was
mean,
that a wife
like,
thing? The laundry detergent?
no,
No.
no, no,
Okay.
no. That was a on sale thing.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it was an on sale thing. I went to the like it doesn't necessarily have to be a brand specific, but like the Tide Free, like the one without
Oh,
chemicals
okay.
and like added whatever. Like
Right.
it just there's really no scent to it.
And you like that
My
one
skin was
better?
less itchy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I see. I see.
my skin's not itchy. Like like pins. Like there's a specific pin that I like to use. I think it's a G2. I think it is. Like cheap pin, not like
Yeah. Yeah.
fountain, like expensive Mont Blanc kind of thing.
Right.
Mont Blanc. Sorry. Mont Blanc.
This is my favorite.
Everyone that has a
It's
Mont
a big
Blanc, they
ultra.
say that's what they say. They say Mont Blanc.
I don't
I'm
even.
like
I'm not even gonna
I'm
pretend
like,
to know what that
how
is.
did you how did you become French Canadian all of a sudden? They're fountain pens.
Okay.
Um, and they're crazy expensive. Like
Some bougie
like
life thing.
like $800, $1,000 for a pen.
What? Do you
Yeah,
even use it? Do people like buy
yeah,
it and
yeah.
use it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Is it is it reusable?
Yeah, you have to refill the ink.
I have a thousand. That makes sense. I have 1,000 of these. This is a Bic Ultra Round Stick Grip. This is the best
Yeah,
pen. I don't know how much it was. I got a bunch for free like
yeah.
5 years ago.
I don't know. There's so many things, and they're different for everybody, which is pretty cool. That's why I like talking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you
like,
mean pens?
no, I mean things that people didn't know they needed
Okay,
the
really quick though.
most.
Really quick. Have you ever gone down the Amazon black hole of um Bic pens for women? Did you hear about this?
First of all, no. But secondly, I I'm not an online shopper.
Okay.
I am not an online shopper. The first thing I bought online was like a year and a half ago. Ever. Like I just don't buy things online.
That's fine. You don't have to be an
And
online shopper for this. Just go look at the reviews for pens for women because this was like featured on Ellen's show. It was so funny. Um, it,
so it's internet gold.
it's worth your time. Anyone who's listening, I
Okay.
promise. What? Why no online shopping though? You just local, trying to stay local.
Yeah, it's local. I have a thing about the exchange of money.
Okay,
Um, like there should be you immediately get my cash. I should immediately get the product.
I gotcha.
It, and I don't even know. I mean, like it's not something I think about. That's not like it's not like a philosophy,
Right,
but like it's not like when I leave Walmart and they ask for my ID and I say no, thank you, and I just walk out to my car.
right.
I do that every time. I do that every single time. Can I see your receipt? No, thank you, and I walk out to my car
You know,
because
I avoid
because
Walmart like
unless it's like a what's that?
I,
You avoid Walmart like the plague.
yeah, but I was just gonna say the few times that I've been in the past, I don't know, years, they've never asked me for a receipt.
They just started that like about 6 months ago.
Okay, okay,
And so like legally, right? It's once you exchange money for a product, it is an immediate transfer into your possession, even if you're in the store or anything like that. It's just like walking into Walmart. You own the shirt that you're wearing, you own the hat that you're wearing, you know whatever you walk in with, just as you own the cash or the card that you have on your person.
Mm,
And then once you purchase it, it is an immediate transfer into you, and it is immediately your purchase, and it is immediately your product.
gotcha.
Unless it is at like Costco or Sam's or something like that, where you sign a contract,
Hmm.
because it's actually in that contract that you have to show a receipt. So that's a different game. That's like if it's a membership, there are membership rules that you have to go by.
Yeah.
But if it is free enterprise and a free business, an open business to the public,
Right.
you do not have to show a receipt whatsoever, unless they have reasonable suspicion. They have to have reasonable criminal suspicion for them to stop you.
Right.
And I just say no, thank you. Now I don't go into that speech. I just say no, thank you.
How does
No,
the
thank you.
90-year-old at the door convey reasonable suspicion, though? Like as you're
They
walking
can't.
out.
So I've actually been stopped by security, right? And I've asked them flat out, do you think I stole something? Well, no, we don't. We just want to make sure. And I was like, you can't do that. That's completely illegal. And they've actually called the police to come over. And I'm talking, I had like six things on me. Like it was six things that were all under like $4. But I was just trying to honestly make a point. Like you can't just do this.
Right.
Like you just can't do that. And it's not because of any political view or anything like that. It's that I shouldn't have to go through another 10 minutes of anything because the old lady at the door is checking receipts of everybody that walks out the door. That's not how it works. And that's not how that's just not, it's just not what it is. Like if you reasonably, now I don't fight it if like I have something that's big and not in a bag.
Well, then they
Like
can probably see it,
I
right?
get that. That's a reasonable suspicion. You have to prove you purchased it, right? But like, no, I'm not. I'm not. And sometimes I get in those moods, and I've actually been in there, and I've heard the Paul, don't do this. Just show them the receipt. Like as we're walking to the door, just show them the receipt. I don't have time for this today. But no, they have no right to do that, and it's your product. They don't even have the right to go through your bag unless they reasonably suspect that you stole something,
Hmm.
and then they have to prove that.
Maybe
So good job,
I was just
Rent-A-Cop.
thinking maybe the old lady at the door wanted to like search you, like she wanted
No, I
she wanted
doubt
to
that.
touch you a
I'm
little
not.
bit,
I'm not.
you know?
I realize that I am one of the better looking people that goes into Walmart, but that's not true. That's not true. The Farragut Walmart's bougie. So,
Man,
although,
go ahead, go ahead. The
no.
Farragut Walmart is very bougie, by the way.
Um, one of the things I really do love about Walmart is they will let you overnight camp in their parking lot. Even if it's stealth camping, they will let you overnight camp in their
There's
parking lot.
so much to unpack in you saying that. I want to know things. Why and which one, and how safe did you feel versus how safe you actually were? What?
I never slept in a parking lot
Okay,
at Walmart.
okay, okay.
No. I have at a Pilot gas station though. I will say that.
That sounds worse. That sounds more dangerous
So
to me.
so I used to like to go on road trips, but I couldn't afford the hotel rooms. So I just sleep in the car,
Heard that.
right? But it costs like $5 to take a shower at Pilot. And they're not, I mean, they're nice. I mean, they're nice. It's a big bathroom with a big shower and soap and everything
Yeah.
and all that. And, it's like $5 for 20 minutes, and you go in there and take a shower and get freshened up and shave and clean up and everything, and then get in your car and drive down the road.
Oh, I would be so skeeved. I think I would just smell bad. I would have to just smell bad.
It couldn't, no. And then like, there's so, listen, man, I've slept in my car more times than people could ever imagine. So,
Okay, let's take this more toward situational kind of thing because we talked about pillows. We're talking about things that we didn't know we needed, and then we got one, and it was like, this is incredible. What about places? And I know you're probably going to say Disney, but also other places that you've been that you were like, oh, this is just going to be whatever, but then it was like amazing.
I know you're probably going to say Disney.
Ooh, that's me talking.
Also, other places. No, it's because I was actually on our live feed reading their comments.
Oh, I see.
So I moved a lot when I was a kid, like a ton.
Yeah.
14 schools, kindergarten through 12th grade. So
it's a lot of schools.
So it's a lot of schools.
Carnes was one of them. Shout out Carnes.
Carnes was there, but I was there twice.
Carnes was two of them. Shout out Carnes twice.
Yeah. So 6th grade and sophomore year of high school. And then I'm sorry, 4th grade as well. I take that back. 4th grade. Well, a little bit of 4th grade, a little bit of 6th grade, and a little bit of my sophomore year. So, we left in the middle of the year, like when I was a sophomore in high school. In fact, we left in a day. It was
like I had 14 schools and not 13, because there's only 13 grades, or unless you did transition as well.
No. Now, and there were a couple of schools I went to for like a year and a half, but only went to the other school for only half a year.
Okay.
And then, it just depended on how fast something was flipped. So you never knew.
Yeah.
You never knew. And my pops was a little out there. So, and then my mom lived in Texas, and then, I mean, I had so many frequent flyer miles by the time I was 12, it wasn't even funny. But that's a really funny story, how I used to cry to go into first class.
It's a good plan. That's such a good plan, though.
Oh, no, it's great. Just really quickly, I can tell you, first time I ever got on a plane by myself, I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I'm 6 and I'm crying because I'm scared. And they're like, oh, honey, don't worry. We'll put you in first class next to us. And I'm like, okay. So next time I got on the plane, started crying.
Smart.
Intentionally.
Time. I'm gonna do it next time. Except I haven't been on a plane that actually has first class in ever.
So I flew every other weekend. Hey, will you grab my phone for me, please? We're getting Lanai food truck calls at 8:30 in the morning.
That's early. That sounds like
let's do this.
Phone.
Hold on. Lanai food truck. This Paul may help you. Uh-huh.
Are you never mind.
Yeah. Hey, can you hold on just a second for me, okay?
Speaker? Put it on speaker. Hey, lady.
All right. So you'd like to order for tomorrow night?
Correct.
Okay, what can we get you?
Correct.
I'd like to have one each of your family dinners.
Okay, the pork and the chicken.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
We've got a pork one and a chicken one.
I'd like one pork and one chicken.
Okay, and what was your name again?
Jane McGuire.
I'm gonna look her up on Facebook.
Excellent, Mrs. McGuire. What time would you get to pick it up?
Ask her if she knows Jerry or Mark.
5, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be there at 5.
Jerry McGuire.
Right at 5 or a little after.
You got it. How about we do 5:15 for you? Okay.
That'd be great.
All right.
I also would like to have one of your sandwiches.
What about Mark McGuire?
Which one?
Grilled chicken, hula hula.
We have a fried chicken sandwich. Do you want it to be grilled instead of fried?
6 viewers to 1, which I think is just Paul. Paul.
No, that's the family pack.
Oh, okay. Oh, a grilled chicken is what I would like.
You got it, Mrs. McGuire. So I've got a grilled chicken sandwich, and I've got a pork family pack and a chicken family pack, and you're going to pick it up around 5:15, correct?
That sounds good.
Thank you.
Credit card or what?
You know what? Why don't you just pay at the truck, and we'll have it all taken care of there, okay?
She is.
Oh, yeah. We take any legal form of payment, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, bye.
So what is she ordering exactly? Is she like getting the truck to come out?
So she just legitimately ordered $100 worth of food. So So we have family packs when we go to neighborhoods. So,
Oh,
oh, okay. Okay. So really quickly back to the flying story. I used to fly every other weekend across the country to see because that's how custody was.
hmm,
And so every other weekend from the time I was 6 to the time I was 12 years old, I flew every other weekend and holidays and all that stuff, right? So I knew the Atlanta airport back and forth by the time I was 8 years old, really
that's a
easily.
lot of real estate right there.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember all the places that we lived, or my dad lived, or my mom lived, and all that. So, so when we were flying into McGee Tyson here, and I was 11 years old. So you have to remember from the time I was 6 to the time I was 11, I've been crying every other weekend on Fridays and Sundays to get my way into first class. It is a plan. I know I'm doing it. I've done it every time. It's worked at almost every time. And I get off the plane and the flight attendant looks at my dad and goes, "He did so great for flying for his first time." Right? And my dad was like, "What are you talking about? This kid's got more frequent flyer miles than I do." Like, and I'm like, never again did it work.
Oh,
I
man.
tried to do it again, and I like got
Yeah,
blacklisted.
they put you on some list or something. Put
Man,
your
it was so
picture up all
bad.
over the place.
Now it's bad because I get on a plane. The first thing I do is order a cocktail even before we've pulled out of the gate. Sir, it's 7:50 in the morning. I don't care. We're on vacation. Let's go.
So, so back to my question. What are some
Mhm.
places you've been that you thought that you weren't really expecting it to be like, something awesome, but then it was like, oh, what a pleasant
Uh,
surprise.
Hawaii. I know that sounds crazy, but I was not looking forward to it.
Why were you not looking
Vail,
forward to Hawaii?
um, I because I was leaving friends
I
and
gotcha. I
family,
gotcha.
and I had made friends like that. And man, I was a sophomore in high school. I was like, man, can we just stay somewhere for 3 years? Let's get some traction. Like, like I don't want to leave,
Was that to
right?
like go live in Hawaii?
Well, we say go live in Hawaii, but it was always we're going to go there and stay there for years. And even as a kid, I knew it wasn't that. I knew
Okay,
it was
okay.
we're going to be here for 6 to 8 months and then we're going to move again.
I gotcha.
Like, I mean, it was just one of those, I don't want to do it. Now, what it has done is given me the ability to talk to anybody about anything, right? Like, I can talk about any subject you want, right? Um, so Hawaii was definitely one of them. As crazy as it is, Vail, Colorado, um, and I'll tell you why.
This is what
Because
I'm looking for because I've never even heard of the
we went
place.
we went snowmobiling, and I had never been snowmobiling ever, and um, I wrecked it, which was really fun too. But I don't. If you've never been on a snowmobile, have you been on a jet ski before?
Yes.
Like, have you driven one?
No.
Right. Okay. So a snowmobile is basically like a jet ski on snow.
Right. Right.
Like it, like there is no
Fast.
like actual. Oh yeah, like we were like, and I say fast. We're probably doing
But that's fast
45
for
miles an
like
hour.
that kind of a
Oh, that's fast
vehicle.
for anything.
Yeah.
That's fast for it, especially when you're on it outside. You don't ride motorcycles or ATVs or
Hmm.
anything like that. New York wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be when I first got
Really?
there.
How old were you when
Um,
you moved to New York?
26, 25,
Gotcha.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was an adult, and in my childhood we were there as well. So, but I mean, but it was. I was like, there's going to be so many people around. It's going to be great, and that's when I realized that was the first place I realized I ever dealt with depression, right?
Gotcha.
Because holidays would come, and there's 12.5 million people there, but you are alone.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
don't know anybody. Because I worked in restaurants. All I did was work 80 hours a week and go home and sleep. I mean, people talk about, oh, I could never live in New York because it's a tiny apartment. Well, you're never there. So
Hmm.
let's start off with that. Like you're there to sleep and leave, right? Although my apartment was pretty awesome. I will say that. My home.
Where was it? Like
But
what part of New York?
I lived in Astoria, Queens.
Okay, cool.
So I lived right outside the very last stop on the NNW train. Um, so I lived in a good part of Queens. It wasn't coming to America.
Right.
Great Greek food. Um, really cool place. There is a University of Tennessee bar there that I helped start. I will say that. It was when DirecTV first started, doing football games and stuff. Um, but I had Saturdays off when I lived there. So I worked 6 days a week. I worked Sunday through Friday. But I always had Saturdays off, and I wanted to watch UT football games just to feel,
Yeah,
graduated from there and all
something,
that stuff, right?
yeah.
And I told the bar that I would pay for them to have the games on if I would pay for it if they would do it.
Right.
At one TV, right? And they did, and then more and more Tennessee alumni started coming, or Tennessee fans, and it ended up being a Tennessee football bar. Like I went there a few years ago and walked in, and it was a sea of orange in there,
Right.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
Because I went to the bar to order a drink, and the guy was like, he's just like, or do you have orange on? And the owner of the bar was like, he's one of the reasons this whole thing happened. Like, that's his seat.
Yeah.
You can get up. It was also a place where they gave you wooden nickels. Have you ever been to one of those places?
No, what
so
for?
every fourth drink was free. So you bought 3 drinks, they'd give you a wooden nickel, and you get your 4th drink for free. Right?
Okay.
And which is good and bad all at the same time. Because there were times that
sounds dangerous.
Well, because I can do 3 and walk away and go home.
Yeah.
Because I live a block and a half down the road.
But
right?
4 is like a gamble,
But
maybe.
4, it's go time, baby. Let's go. Right. And then you're there all night.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
but the other thing, I ended up, I would go and I'd only have like one,
Mhm.
right? And they'd be like, "Here you go, Paul." They just throw one. It was like Cheers.
That's cool.
Everybody knew me.
Right.
But then I'd go home and I'd have like a jar full of wooden nickels. I'd be like, "All right, it's Saturday."
Wait, but
I got 100 drinks.
were the wooden nickels like that was a free drink?
Yeah, it's a free drink.
Okay, I missed that part for some reason. That makes sense
Yeah,
though.
no,
It seems like after a 4th drink, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of the decision of, if I have the 4th, I'm staying, and then I'm definitely gonna have more. Like, was that their mentality behind it? Like, if we give a 4th for free,
their
then
mentality. I think they were just trying to be nice, honestly.
interesting.
It's an Irish thing, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm not sure. I don't know. But it was an Irish bar.
Okay, I got you.
But we've thought about doing that, not to segue into food truck, but we've thought about doing that with the food truck, right? But instead of giving you like we would do it, so we're going to do Dole Whip. Like whenever we have a brick and mortar, we're going to do Dole Whip.
What's Dole Whip?
But it's pineapple. It's like pineapple ice cream.
Like Cool
It's
Whip?
so good. No, it's like soft serve.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
So it's like something Disney helped develop. It's like one of the, and now they're doing it nationwide. So, but nobody does it in Knoxville except for Regal Cinemas tried to do it and they failed at it. I think, I'm not sure. I don't go to the movies a lot. But we're gonna carry around like wooden nickels,
Right.
Or they're about the size of poker chips, right? But like if you're out and about, like doing, like if I run into somebody and we have a conversation about the truck, you know what? Here, take this. Why don't you come in and have a Dole Whip on me? Like it's free. Here you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. And instead of carrying around a business card, it's like a piece. It's a heavier thing that you carry in your pocket, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna go down there and have that.
Yeah.
So
Then you're actually thinking about it.
yeah,
That's cool. That's cool.
I tried to write that order down, and all I had was a stylus pen.
Did it work? Did you just like engrave it?
No,
into
it's McGuire,
piece of
and she
paper?
wants a grilled huli chicken and the 2 family platters at $5.15. Though I can tell you that. So
Nice. So a place for me is Hilton Head.
Yeah,
Ever
you.
been to Hilton Head?
I have been to Hilton Head.
Okay, so
Yes.
I went with Lindsay and her family. This was in like 2014 maybe. So we had been dating for almost 2 years at this point. And when I heard Hilton Head, I was like, that's the beach. Like I've been to Myrtle Beach and Daytona, and I've been to Ormond and plenty of beaches before. So I was like, this is just the
Mhm.
beach. Like that's all I'm expecting. Dude, that place is wild. I mean, it's the opposite of wild, which is why it's the greatest, because you know, all of the branding for it like blends in with nature.
Right.
It's so crazy. So probably one of the best beach experiences of my life. And now we go, you know, once every couple of years or so with her family. But man, just there's some bougie places over there. I'm not a
There's so
golfer,
much
but
more to, well, there's so much more to do than just the beach there is
that's
what I
true.
really,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a little
And
odd for
and
me
there's
though, because like growing up, we went to the beach for the beach and the pool, and that's like all we did. So I mean, it was cool like having other stuff to do,
yeah.
but I would be so content on vacation just having like, here's the one thing that we go and do every day, and it's super relaxing. So
Well, I mean, I'm talking like you can go on a bike ride and like they have all those biking paths and you can ride your like if you certain parts of the island I know you can like that are like gated off. They're not like really gated off, but they're sectioned off, right? And you can ride your bike down to like that ice cream spot and like sit and have ice cream
the
out
ice
on the
cream.
dock
Mm.
and it is so good.
Yeah.
Like
But I do know there are two places, and one of them is like official Hilton Head ice cream, and the other place is kind of like a knockoff, basically.
uh,
So, yeah, the official Hilton
they're
Head
like
is incredible.
they're like the Voight sneakers.
Right. Yeah. Man, that
I used to rock my Voights. I'm not even going to deny it.
yeah.
Like I used to like rock them. I'm like, they're like, those are Voights. And I'm like,
So,
clearly aware of what they are.
right, right. Um I won't go too far into Enneagram speak, but this really solidified the type that I identify with the most, being in Hilton
Yeah.
Head and riding bikes. And the rule at Hilton Head is that cars have the right of way no matter what all the time. So anyone biking is
Right.
supposed to like I'm telling you like you already know this, but for anyone listening, if you're biking, you go up to the stop sign, you wait for all cars to pass because it's safer that way. And
Yeah.
then like cars are constantly just stopping in the middle of the road, and I'm like screaming at them like, go, just go. Like there are rules here. So Lindsay does not like when I do that. So last time we were there, I tried to do that a lot less, but it's so deep in my heart that we have to follow these rules for safety.
Yeah. I I know this is a really weird thing that I'm thinking about, but I'm thinking about people that ride their bikes in Knox County,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's two kinds of people. They're the people that
I
are
don't like
like,
it.
hey, thank you for being cool
Uh-huh.
about, like 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 if you slow down, like I slow down behind a bicycle rider so that I can pass them safely,
Right.
not hit them, right? There's two reactions I get. It's either come like they're yelling at me to go around them and I'm like there's a blind hill and a blind curve in front of you, man.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I'm behind you.
You're
I
like,
need you to start off with
you're
that.
like, I'm not on a bike, dude.
Like right? Or there's the people that clearly just do not care.
Right. Right.
They are riding in the middle of the road and they're like, when you get around me, you get around me. But I'm driving the truck in South Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's no bikes around at all. And there's no traffic either. And I pull over into a spot because we were going to be in front of a brewery that night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's the bike lane and then parallel parking on this side of it,
Okay.
right?
Right. Right.
Well, I didn't get over far enough, and my tire, it was on the line. A guy passed me and turned around to like try to have a lecture with me about how the bikes have lanes and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him and I said, well, my rule is whichever can kill the other one has the right of way.
Right.
So if I'm running down the road and there's an elephant running at me, I get out of the way of the elephant. That is my rule. and then I was like, also, what is the big deal, man? There's nobody around. Like, I
Right,
mean,
right.
I'm like, dude, it's 8:45 on a Saturday morning. There's no one here. Like, you turned around just to have an argument with the Enneagram 8, which isn't going to go well.
It's one of
So he
those
was
like,
like, you
even
just
if
need
you
to have,
win, did you really win?
he was like, you need to have respect for the cyclist on the road. And I'm like, do I need to gain that respect first, or do I just need to have the respect level that I had?
Sure,
Because
sure.
hey, listen, go ride your bike. That's cool. Like, I don't have any issues with it. I try to, like, I want to stay 3 feet away from you. I
Hmm.
don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to get in a wreck. I want you to be safe. All those things. But man, don't come up to me, start screaming at me because I parked a vehicle and you had to go around me and not me around you.
Right.
Like, that's where I was on that day. I was like, dude, chill, chill. But what what is the thing that you got that you didn't know that you needed the most? And I, outside of a pillow.
Yeah, yeah. We already went down the pillow hole. Man, the pillow is so great though. Um, you know, my mind went toward dogs, but like I knew I needed dogs, and that has still delivered so far beyond expectations. So
Right, right.
that's not even a fair one. Everybody knows they're great, by the way. Before you ask,
Yeah. I but I mean, so that's like having a life around you, though. That's like a
hmm
companion.
yes, yeah,
So like that's one of the things, like that. I mean, I get that, but to me, that's almost like having a friend.
yes,
Like,
yeah,
you didn't know, right?
yeah, yeah, and I think saying it's more like a friend than like having kids, because I know like there's the whole
I don't.
there's the whole debate that I love getting under people's skin when I know it will get under people's skin. I'm like, yeah, they're
Oh,
my
okay.
babies, but it really is more like a friend who I'm telling everything, like literally everything. They're counseling me all day long.
Yeah. I, you know what's funny is I don't actually have issues with that.
Right,
I
right.
don't have any issues with that. I'm like, if you want to view that as your child, that's on you. That's cool. Is it different? Yes, it's very different. It's very different. You cannot lock your kids in cages. That is not allowed. You can't go, oh, you need to go to the bathroom. Go out in the backyard where it's fenced. You can't feed them the same thing every day.
Yeah. With
However, they do tricks for treats. I will say that.
There you
They
go.
do
There's
that.
the one. We get the one thing.
They also
Um,
poop in the floor. Like, that does
poop on
happen.
themselves a little bit. Man, for as hairy as ours are, like on their butts, there's never any poop residue on their butt. That's just riveting podcasting information right there.
That's so nice, Sasha. So dogs.
So dogs is one of
Wow.
them. Okay. Ooh, I've got a good one. This was a gift from Lindsay. The first year we were married for Christmas, I had mentioned that there was a really cool Lego set. It was a Millennium Falcon because the
Hmm.
maybe it was the second year we were married because Force Awakens had just come out, Star Wars Episode 7, and I was like, man, that Millennium Falcon is awesome. Never thought in a million years that she was going to get it for me for Christmas, and she did. And I got
Mm.
angry because I'm an idiot. And I was like, you spent that much money on me? But then I was building it, and it's phenomenal. Like the amount of detail and everything, it's so cool,
Uh,
and so cool
uh,
that she picked up on. Like I just kind of mentioned it in
yeah.
passing, and it was not
Yeah.
easy for her to get because they kept selling out of
Yeah.
it at every place. So
Are you that person though that if you guys are doing gift exchanges, it has to be the same monetary value?
yes, and it's
Are you
awful.
really?
It's
I am
awful.
not.
It's terrible, and I try very hard to like stop for a second and be like, this is okay. Like this is fine.
I'm very much the thought counts.
Yeah.
Like, like if the specialness of it, like the fact you thought of me, I don't even care how much it is,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So,
I will say though,
but now I
it's
will
only
say,
one way. It's only like I want mine to be equal to whatever I received. But if it's the other way, like I would rather give someone a gift and not receive
more.
anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you know, my mom has 15 brothers and sisters. You know, we have like 54
Couple.
grandchildren, so 54 first cousins, but we all have kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we used to do this exchange thing at Christmas where all the kids got gifts, all of them. And then you drew names. Well, we nixed that, and then the kids were getting gifts and all that, right? But most of my cousins were at the starting out point in family life. And here I roll in with 7 kids. And I'm like, and it's not like our family's not like, oh, grab them a $5 toy. They're like $50 a person. I'm like, so very much, and this is not my personality, but I see it from their side. Like, and I do see a lot of things from other people's side. But we were together on Thanksgiving, and I got everybody together, and I'm like, hey, how about we just do this year? You take care of your kids, I'll take care of mine. Like, we're good. Like,
and then just hang out.
My kids are going to draw you a picture. Okay. That's what they're going to do. I got you a hug for Christmas. And it's been the best holidays since we've done that.
Yeah.
And we've done that for probably 3 years now. And it's because it's like,
less stressful,
wait a minute. Well, I mean, think about this. Like, you're buying for everybody else's kids, right? So, you know, and normal families got 2-3 kids, right? But then you go, here's Paul's family with 7 of them. Please get them a toy. Now, I will say this, though. So my cousin had, they have a little boy. They have a little boy and a little girl. But when he was a little boy and he was just learning how to walk, I bought him intentionally one of those push things that makes the balls pop. Pop, pop, pop.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think the most annoying toy ever.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, anyways, I bought it for him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much for this." Ended up being the kid's favorite toy.
Of course.
Right? Like,
makes the most noise.
Favorite toy. And I got a text message from him the other day, and he goes, "Levi's about to start walking, isn't he?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Christmas is coming up. Merry Christmas." Or is his birthday in July? Happy birthday. And I'm like, "What are you getting him?" He goes, "No, I'm just returning something."
I was going to say, are they regifting?
So I have a feeling that is coming. Speaking of kid toys, something that I didn't know that I needed, I bought it yesterday. I bought a plastic bowling ball pin, like a 6-pin bowling set with like the little hard plastic. By the way, those things are hard.
Yeah.
Like, they are not soft.
Right.
Like, you hit a kid or you get hit by a kid with one of those.
Which one of those actually happened
in
this scenario?
The secondary of the two. I played soccer. I do not have hand-eye coordination. Right in the face. We straight up had a bowling tournament yesterday with toys for like a 4-year-old in the house. Are you reading something? Did you lose?
I thought you froze for a second.
No,
it was like the sound just completely cut out, and I was like, "Oh no." Okay, we're good though. That's fun.
No, so I don't know. I mean, like, you know, like hobbies that I've picked up that I've really enjoyed. You know, the other question is what have you thought that you wanted the most, got it, and then never used it, and never. Man, never yeah.
That's a good question. That's a tough one. Go ahead.
Mine's an Xbox.
Really?
Like, I remember being mid-20s, being like, I want to play video games. Like, I want to do this. So I have had another system besides a Nintendo, but I was like, I want to do. I played maybe 2 games on it, and then I was like, okay, like that was like $400, man.
Yeah.
Like, and then like legitimately sold them to McKay's for like $45.
Nice.
Like I was like, no, it sat in a box in a corner. Like I just never used it ever.
I have a funny Xbox story too. I played a lot. Like I've played games my entire life, and I had one in high school, just the normal Xbox, and then I left it at a friend's house because we did the thing where you hook up all your Xboxes and TVs and you play shooting games and kill each other. And I left it there for apparently too long, like a year, so he just sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Sold it, didn't tell me, didn't give me any of the money, and I was like, yeah, I guess I didn't really want it. But I'm with
No,
I
I
really
mean,
enjoyed having Cody on yesterday, and something he said was
mhm.
he had to decide, like, I'm either going to keep the Xbox out and I'm going to still be using that time to play games, or I'm going to put it away and I'm really going to go hard into like recording a bunch of music during the quarantine time.
Mhm.
And he put it away, and I was like, that's really cool, because I had to make that same
Yeah.
decision in my head. Otherwise, I'd be uh, basically just wasting a lot more time. And I'm not saying that to try and hate on all the people out there
Mhm.
playing Animal Crossing right now. I'm not sure if you're in that world at all, or if you know anyone who who is deep in Nintendo Switch
I'm not.
Animal Crossing, but it's just this. It's a weird simulation type game where you're on this island with a bunch of animal characters, and you do menial tasks like picking coconuts out of trees, and it's so addictive. I can vouch it's one of the most addictive games on the planet. But the whole premise behind it is just so wild and strange. Anyway, I'm not knocking any of those people, but
Mm.
for me personally, it was like I can't do both right now. I won't get anything done.
Yeah. I will tell you the Nintendo Switch. So I let the oldest boy stay up past his bedtime to
Hmm.
watch the NFL draft with me last night.
Nice.
And he played Mario Kart the entire time. He could care less. He was like, "Oh, that's great." Like on his Switch on the cat. About an hour into it, I was like, "Dude, go to bed." Like this is not why you're supposed to be up.
Right, right,
I'm like, that's really bad of me. I'm like, oh, you can stay up, but you're gonna do what I want to do,
right, right.
not what you want to do.
Oh, by the way,
Nah, I let him play.
we have had a couple. You mentioned the draft, and it made me think of this too. Adam Aaron, like an hour ago, said they are trying to get started on time, but it's not for sure. Talking about the NFL, so that makes sense.
I, I don't know. I'll get a text message
Yeah,
from him
yeah,
when it happens. Like, I mean, like we're that close.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's one of those
You're
things.
you're
So
not on the board, but you will
so
get
and
the
it's
text
not
message.
and it's not everybody. It's not the person that everybody thinks it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's also pretty cool.
yeah.
I
I
do have a cool NFL draft story though. We have a
Yeah.
family member that played in NFL.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Um, yeah, he played left tackle for Kentucky and then ended up playing for the Bills for 7 or 9 years. I can't remember
Hmm.
the timeline of it, but he was going to be a doctor. Like he went to the University of Kentucky to get an education. Not he was like, there's no way I'm going to play in the NFL.
Hmm.
Like he was like, I'm using this to go to school.
Right,
Right. Like he was going to med school. Like he had been accepted, all that. He entered the draft as a joke because he qualified for it.
right.
And he was like, I'm going to spend the $500 to enter the NFL draft just to say I was draft eligible. That was the only reason he did it.
Yeah.
Like there was no other, like he was like, I'm just going to do it, whatever.
Is that like a
Ended
resume
up
thing?
getting,
Like, I could have done this, but I'm a
I don't
doctor.
know. I mean, like he's 22.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
mean, he's like, this is the only time it's ever going to happen. Like, let me gather up the money I have and not do anything wise with it. Just enter the draft, right? Because he didn't have an agent that would have normally paid for it or anything like that. Because it costs money to like actually enter, right?
Right.
Ended up getting drafted in like the 6th round,
Dang.
right? Ended up playing on the practice squad. He went up there and he was like, all right, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst
course
that
I'm
can
gonna go.
happen? They're paying for everything.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Right. And don't get me wrong. He worked really hard. Like
Mhm.
he took it serious, but he was like, even at the end of it, he was like, I don't think this is going to work out. And like, he was like, I don't think this is going to work out. He was like 6'5", 300 pounds. Like he's huge.
Dang.
Yeah,
What do you play? Like
yeah.
lineman?
That's why Leonard Little never got a sack on Kentucky.
Oh, really?
Was because yeah, yeah. So it's pretty
Nice.
cool. So he goes up there, and they're like, "Hey, you're super smart, right? So, but we don't have a spot for you on the roster. Why don't you be on the practice squad, which is only like 4 players or 4 or 5 players?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like $100,000." And he's like, "Well, if I do this for a year, I've paid for medical school."
For real.
That was his whole thought. Like, I don't have to get a loan. I'll just do this, and ended up doing practice squad for 2 years. After practice squad on the second year, they invited him onto the team, like to make the cut. And he was like, he played for league minimum. He hardly ever played all that stuff. And I always used to like razz him. I'm like, hey, like, how do you feel riding the pine? He was like, Paul, I make veterans minimum. I get paid $1.4 million to ride the bench.
Dude, and
He was like,
I
he was
mentioned
like,
that.
I'll ride the bench for 50 years. Like,
Sure.
you know,
Well, that's
but
what I was gonna
after,
say. Is he could do it for 50 years. I mean, not really, but he won't
no,
get injured in the way that everybody else will too. I don't know why
so
that's where my brain goes, but they get
no,
so hurt playing football.
that's what he said. He
Yeah.
was like, dude, he's like, I play like 4 plays a game.
Hmm.
He's like, I've been to the playoffs. I've seen the whole US. Like, everything is paid for. He's like, I live like I make 50 grand a year, and I stockpile the rest. He's like a high school teacher and a football coach now,
That's
right?
awesome. So
He's
awesome.
like, but yeah, but I mean, he was like, he like lived in like a 1 bedroom apartment, like, just like normal dude,
Yeah.
right?
Drove a Kia.
But I used to give him such a hard time, and he was like, yeah, you can give me a hard time all you want to, but like, I get paid over $1 million a year, like, like, and he's like, I'm never hurt,
Hmm.
I'm never injured. He was basically a coach that was a player, is what it was, because you can only have so many coaches.
Sure, sure.
But he was like they kept me because they had an extra coach, is what it was. And now, obviously, he never became a physician or anything like that. But like, he's like, yeah, that's where I laugh and chuckle at opportunities that come in your life that
Hmm.
you're like, you have to say yes to it,
Yeah, for
even
real.
if you know it's not going to work out. Like, and like I said, he went up there and worked. Like, he did his job, but at the end of it, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, yeah, straight up, he played for the worst team. Like, it was great in
I
the
was gonna
worst
say
area.
they're not
He
known
played in
for
Buffalo.
they're not
No, he
known
played
for
in
winning,
Buffalo.
right? Buffalo's
Yeah,
cold.
yeah. I had an interview in yeah, it was Cleveland, Ohio,
Uh-huh.
in February. Right?
Ooh.
They flew me up, and I got off the airplane, and the snowbanks that they had like plowed off the runway
Hmm.
were like 6.5 feet tall, and I went, unless you're paying me $500,000 a year, I'm getting back on this
There's
plane.
no
I just
way.
need you to know that. Like, I'm not.
Man,
No.
all of the like we had Dylan Howell on a couple weeks ago. Every gig that we did, like flying around the US, they were all in like January, February for some reason. We never did like summer stuff. I mean, we did camps and stuff, but most of these got booked for like weekend things in like December, January, February. It was so cold every time. And that was the same story in like Minnesota. Like I remember getting off the plane and the pilot and the staff on the plane were like, "Yeah, that was a little scary." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what was a little scary?" Thank God we're on the ground. Um, but same like just like snowbounds like so high, like as high as buildings where they just like pushed it all together. So
Yeah, that's one of my other grievances all the time at airports when they delay flights because they're checking something, and people are like, "Come on, can we just get on?" And I'm like, "Nah, can you
yeah,
check it out?
let's
Like,
wait.
let's, yeah, like I'm good. Like, I'll be right here making sure the plane is good.
Yeah,
Like, we're cool. When you get on another flight, like, you just let me know. I'm good with it."
dude, that happened in February.
The other
Lindsay and
one
I
is,
flew down to Florida and went to a wedding, and it got delayed an hour and a half because they were checking stuff. And I was like, "Look, I'm upset for sure, but I would much rather like live through this flight. So just let them do what they need to do."
But here's the question: why were you upset?
Because I wasn't getting my way.
Is that okay? I like that's an
That's
honest
the core
answer.
of it. Yeah. Or it wasn't
I
going the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah,
Is more like it.
going through life tragedies, which I've gone through
Mm-hmm.
my life, and everybody has, right? I really am just like, I'm gonna be okay. Like, we're gonna be fine. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna have to call somebody and say, hey, I'm not gonna be there on time
Right.
because there's something completely out of my control, And but no, like, I've sat on the tarmac on a plane, and they're like, we're not taking off yet because we noticed something was wrong with the wing. Cool.
Right.
Thank you for noticing something is wrong. And a guy next to me was like, they can just take off. It's okay. And I'm like, are you one of like aeronautical engineer? Is that the right word? Like,
Right.
are you like, do you know anything about
Yeah.
planes?
Did you go to school for this, bud?
Like I'm sure you were like a nutrition and a tornado and a finance and a pandemic, like expert as well. But like, do you know anything about an airplane? Like, that's my question. If you do, and you can show me some like statuses, we're good. Like, I have a cousin that legitimately works on wings for Boeing. Like, that is his job.
Right.
He helps air, like he was in the Air Force forever, and
Sounds scary.
like that's what he does, right? Is he like works on wings. I don't know his exact title. No one knows, but he works on airplane wings, right? I'd listen to him.
Yeah.
I'd listen to him.
Yeah.
And he'd probably say, stay on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna take something that weighs 7 tons and put it in the air.
With a bunch of people on it.
And so
Let's just wait.
that's
Let's
my
just wait.
grievances for the day.
I like it. I like it. Um, man,
Oh,
it was a cool week. I guess we're more than likely
yeah.
still going to do recap yesterday, unless we decide to sleep in because we can do whatever we want. But well, it
You mean
looked like
recap tomorrow?
yeah, yeah.
Did you say recap yesterday?
There's no telling what I've said.
Oh, Mrs. McGuire.
Somebody
She got
fact check.
2 packs, chicken and pork, and a grilled hooly chicken sandwich. Okay, I have to remember that.
Okay, we're
I
good.
keep saying it because I can go back on the live and like go back to it
That's true.
and
And
be
this will
like,
be
I forgot
like
what she ordered, and then I can just be like, all right, at the very end of it,
yeah.
I
There you go.
repeated what she said. So,
Perfect. Cool. Well, yeah. This
did I
was
have a telephone voice? That was my other question. Do I have like a telephone voice?
yes. I mean, it's not like crazy different. You weren't like you weren't so chipper that it was like obnoxious or anything, but
I
yeah,
was
it's
pleasant,
telephone
but
voice.
trying to get her off the phone at the same time.
Like,
That's my question.
come on,
Okay,
lady,
yeah.
let's go.
Like, she was like, "Can I pay?" And I'm like, "No, not right now." That's really where I was at. I was like, "No, we can pay later."
The good thing about that is she will never know. She would never know that that's how you were feeling.
Oh, no.
You can hear it in her
Mm.
voice, and the people who do catch on catch on. So
No, and she's probably, and I would estimate, a very wonderful human being
mhm.
and very lovely. I
She's all
can't
right.
wait to see her tomorrow. And but like, I mean, hey, look, anybody's ordering $100 worth of food from me, I'm good
It's
with
a
her.
great person.
So yeah, she's amazing.
That's hilarious.
So
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Taylor Winder just sent me a message and said, "Hey, need to get you all some coffee." So she's gonna get us some coffee this week or weekend or
It's the golden roast, right?
nobody knows what day it
The
is.
gold.
Yeah, I'm excited about having some good coffee because I've bought Target coffee and Kroger coffee, and I actually have some private selection from Kroger that's Yurgachev for any coffee snobs who are listening out there. It is very
Yeah.
very delicious, and it's whole bean. Like that's the stuff I'll shell out a little bit more for because I know it's going to taste a lot better. So
Somebody said we're trying to get started on time.
started on time.
They're trying to get started on time, but it's not for sure.
Oh,
Adam
that was about
Aaron.
the NFL.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I was like that. I was like, we are on time because we're on our own schedule.
Well, I gave a birthday shout out to Jordan Carr because that's one of my sister in law's husband. Not that she has multiple husbands. The phrasing on that was very strange, but I have two sister-in-laws, and one of them has a husband, and that's Jordan Carr.
Hey, we got about 5 minutes left. I know that, but I really need to unpack something
Do it.
that I have watched another documentary.
Ooh,
But it's not a real documentary.
Is it
like
Waco?
it was a story. Yes.
How's Waco?
Yes.
Is it so good?
So good.
This is about the
Like,
compound, right?
I realize they're telling it from one perspective
Sure,
of everything, but I remember it when I was a kid. I remember being a freshman in high school and it like this happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the thing that it's written on are based on two books, right? One from the FBI negotiator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another from a guy that survived and got out at the fire, like when the fire happened.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So the accounts are eerily similar.
Uh-huh.
Like at the end of it, I mean, everybody knows the complex caught on fire. But they were saying that tear gas wasn't flammable, right? And this guy that was a talk show guy, he was like, yeah, but he's naming off like 30 things where they're like, the FBI said that it wasn't flammable, but yet they used it and it caught on fire and people died. Like he just starts naming off things. And I'm like, oh, like I'm not a
Like
I hate the federal
guy.
government. Like that's not me.
Okay.
But like I remember seeing these things, and I remember it happening in real life.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, that's wild.
Like them running over cars and like totally trashing their house with their tanks and just using it as like, and then the guy that played David Koresh, right? Like when they talk about cult leaders being very charismatic and very charming and all that. Like you can tell that and I can't give it away because like there are things about the story that I didn't know and I don't want to tell it, but it's worth the 5 hours it takes to watch it. Like it is like mind blowing.
Also,
the fact
is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, cool.
It is now number 3 on Netflix. So, Tiger King is number 8 now. I think we're over the Tiger King.
Yeah.
What's like anything in our social media world?
The movie,
you've got 48 hours to be charmed by it, and then you're gone.
It's a little more than 15 minutes of fame. I know Outbreak was like the number 1 movie there for a couple weeks, and everybody was like, "Why are you watching this?"
I'm more of a I Am Legend on this. Like I
love that movie
because and I'll tell you, because it started off with she found a vaccine for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned everybody into zombies or whatever they are,
cancer,
right? But they're gonna come out with a vaccine for this COVID thing.
Oh
yeah!
Oh no!
Yeah!
Oh no!
And the epicenter is New York City.
Yeah, and then quarantine NYC, but Will Smith's up there, so we'll be okay.
Running on a treadmill with his dog.
Man,
that's the saddest part of the whole movie.
Saddest
part of the whole movie. Like in all seriousness, I didn't cry when his wife and kid got blown up in a helicopter.
Right.
But I'm boo-hooing in the theater, like tears roll, because I'm like, that's his only friend. Like that's all I thought was that's his only friend.
Right.
That's all he's got. That's who he's talking to. There's nobody left. And like I got it. Like, like sit out in the dark and just let them take you. Mm-hmm. Like we're good. Mm-hmm. Like, so anyways, sorry, we went really fast into trend. So
it's a good reminder that I need to go watch that too, the Waco thing. But yeah, we'll end things there. Also, I would love to, when it's just you and me on an episode coming up, we should talk about things that make us cry, because I think that would be a fun episode, as long as it is a fun episode and not a sad one.
Oh yeah, I cry every day, so we're good.
Yeah, I shed at least one tear.
I really do.
One tear every other day for me is what I'm hitting. So
yeah. Usually happy cries. So we're good.
There you go. All right, cool. Well, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll do a little recap action. Bye bye.
Boom goes the dime.